following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.
It is a track that you normally don't see a lot of racing at anymore in iRacing, but there are some series that will go racing at this track, and it's one that puts on a pretty good show when it comes to iRacing and in whatever cars that they choose to drive. If it's an Indy car, if it's a stock car, whatever it is the Milwaukee Mile. It is the oldest asphalt track in America. It was built way back in 1906. And today plays host of Sim500 and round number 15 of the NC811.org Xfinity Series here on the Captain Esports Network. As we welcome you in on this Sunday evening, I am the Captain as we get ready to go racing for 130 laps in the Cream City known as Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or a little outside of the city. But we're getting ready to go here at the State Fairgrounds for the Milwaukee Mile in 130 laps. This track, of course, built as a dirt track way back in its heyday, was repaved and asphalt put on it, hence the flatness of it, the 6 degrees of banking in the corners. Obviously, it's an old horse racing track and dirt track that they used to run. So when you think of like the old Syracuse Mile and tracks like that are long straightaway with corners and that are flat, that's where this track comes in to play, the Milwaukee Mile. All right, let's look at the point standings real quickly as we go into this 15th race. Of course, we're now 5 races after tonight away from the playoffs, and you look at the 25 cars that are battling for 16 spots. See Kevin DeBrown right now on the bubble by 5 over Brent Scott. John Schweikert is 10 points back. Of course, Eric Arnold, Josh Parker, Gerald Livingston, Jeff Ryan, Sigmund Phillips, and Hudson, and there's even more drivers that are in this battle. But right now, that battle for the 16th position. Meanwhile, 2 rookies up there at the top of the standings. And then after last week's race at the Milwaukee, or at the Pocono Raceway, I should say, who knows what can happen here this evening when it is all said and done. I'm going to mute my mic for just a quick second. All right, sorry about that. I was taking care of a little issue there. But yeah, as we get ready to go racing here at the Milwaukee Mile, got a pretty big field, 36 cars, it looks like, lined up and ready to go here for racing around this 1 mile flat track. As we showed you the point standings just a minute ago, we got about 3 minutes or so before we get to the qualifying portion of the race there. But again, just quick ball, you had to mute the mic there for just a second. So let's go back to that Pocono race. It was Justin Fuller who went to victory lane in that race. And let's talk to the driver of the 55 here tonight. Justin, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, buddy. So obviously you've been on that hot streak, and now you come to Milwaukee, which obviously is, well, 4 corners of turn 3 at Pocono. And can we make these 4 corners work out tonight? Obviously going to be a slick track, 36 cars right now out here. Going to be tough to pass. What are we looking forward to?
Oh, it's gonna be a track position game for sure. I don't really know this. I know I'm third on the speed charts, but I'm not very I'm not very confident at this racetrack. So just looking to get a good finish, hopefully a top 10 for sure, and just carry this momentum into next week, hopefully.
How's the track rubbering in? Obviously, this has always been a bottom feeding type of track. Is this one of those you we're looking at tonight? If you get out of that bottom groove, you might be up the track a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty loose on corner entry and pretty loose on exit. If you're driving in too deep, you get a little sideways, and then it's definitely loose on throttle on exit. So it's gonna be a throttle, taking care of the rear tires and not breaking them loose for sure tonight.
Is this one of those tracks that we're going to see all different types of strategy to steal track position later, like pit wise and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I think you're going to see a lot of pit strategy tonight, depending on how the cautions fall and stuff. People staying out on old tires because it's going to be kind of difficult to pass even on old tires. Tires are still going to mean an awful lot, but people are definitely going to be trying to leapfrog other guys.
Well, we'll see what happens here, man. Obviously, coming off the win at Pocono, wish you the best of luck, and maybe we'll talk again in victory lane tonight.
Yep, thanks. Have a good one.
Absolutely, you too. That is Justin Fuller, of course, coming off his win there at Pocono, and I see Discord has introduced all these dancing thingies and iRacing emojis and stuff in the chat now, which is interesting. There's not one for broadcaster or streamer. I mean, come on. Just putting that out there. So, all right. Monday night last week, we had a little historic moment happen at Talladega Super Speedway when Tyler Dalton finally put his name on a winner's list in the Cup Series Monday night, and now he comes here to Sunday at the Milwaukee Mile. Tyler, obviously going to be a tricky one here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks. Hadn't got to run it here in Sim500 in, I think, 3 years, so nice to see an old friend. We had it on the schedule a few times and didn't have a setup and had to change things, but hopefully we can have fun running it tonight.
Bottom feeding, which means track position is going to come into play here. How do we see this race playing out? A lot of track or a lot of pit strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I think it's just sort of almost like a Darlington where you race the track versus the other drivers. You really can't change what you're doing based off the guy in front of you. You got to run the line that you're comfortable with. And now if you have tires, you can go up there, and I think they added some grip to that second groove, so it's viable to pass with newer tires. We were looking at, I don't know, after 30 laps, about 2-second tire fall off, so you can definitely pass up there with newer tires. So tires would definitely be interesting to see how that works out as well. But it's very groove dependent. You got to hit your mark. It's very unforgiving if you miss it.
Absolutely, man. Well, hey, best of luck here. I know qualifying's beginning, so we'll let you get out there.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Tyler Dalton going to start, well, we'll find out here in a minute. Qualifying is about to begin, and you heard it from two of the best drivers in the series. It's going to be all about the one groove, the bottom lane tonight, and you do not want to slip up out of that lane tonight on this very flat track. So let's see what transpires here in the race this evening. As a matter of fact, Justin Fuller going to be one of the first cars out here on the track for qualifying, which of course is presented by 811. Know what's below and call before you dig. Want to send some special thoughts and prayers out to those out in Nebraska and in the Central Plains this evening, including around where Mike Kelly's area is. He saw some photos today. His area there, just, I mean, his literally property and stuff like that just missing. A couple of tornadoes, at least one coming through the area there. So thoughts of everybody in Kelly's hometown and so on and so forth. So a rough weekend when it comes to storms. As they go through 3 and 4, see Fuller going to go up there to that top side again. He's going to kind of throw away this lap, it looks like. And lap 1 for Fuller, a 31.67. John Schweikert actually going to the top of the standings here in qualifying. McMillan with a 30.94. That's a 30-second lap. How about that? JP Phillips second. Schweikert, Kelly, and Friery your top 5. Richard Swavely there in the 6th position. Got a lot of different names here tonight that we're seeing for the first time. As Fuller crosses the line, second time, going to be faster. This time a 31.04 is that lap time for him. Congratulations, McMillan right now on the pole. As others cross the line here. Gillenwater up there with a 31.14. Let's check out Chad Coleman here in the 38 car. As Braxton Deweese to P7, 31.097 second lap. Qualifying lap there for Braxton. Kevin DeBrown down in the 20th position. You see Tommy Ryan is slotted in the 9th spot. Here comes the WBD diecast number 38 car off of turn 4 as he crosses the start-finish line and slots himself in the 23rd position with a 31.44 for that 38 car. Here's Eric Arnold. As he crosses the line, he is P12 after his first lap as he rolls through turn 3 and 4. And you see how much throttle time. You are literally rolling around this corner. It's so flat. If iRacing really wanted to be creative, you could put dirt on this track as like a second layout, and then you can almost have another version of the Syracuse Mile, as I talked about earlier, that no longer exists, but a mile dirt track, DeCoin, or what's the other one over there? Springfield. As Arnold stays P12 on his lap. Let's see who else is out here. Let's see, Stephen Miles looks like the only other car out on track right now going to try qualifying here. Jeff Ryan's already run his 2 laps, FYI there, so the only car we're going to see is this 24. The Ric Flair drip car. As Miles crosses the line, he goes P12, 31.15. And right now, no one else on track. So it looks like it is going to be the driver of the 88, Mac McMillan, on the pole here this evening. Congratulations to him on winning the pole. And, of course, that is presented by 811. Know it's below and call before you dig. We will step away. Let's go trackside for the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet brave.
All right, looks like 36 cars are set to go racing here in West Allis, Wisconsin, just outside of Milwaukee, the Cream City. By the way, is nicknamed that because a lot of their buildings back in their heyday were cream colored. That's why it's called the Cream City. Some are still like that, by the way, to today's date. Take a look at the starting lineup for the race here this evening. It is at Bully Dog Coffee Company, number 88 up top. Mac McMillan, Justin Fuller, last week's winner at Pocono. I think whoever's playing with our cameras having a little too fun there. Too much fun. Tyler Dalton, JP Phillips there in row 2. John Schweikert and Glenn Campbell there in row 3. Row 4, Braxton DeWeese and Nelson Rivera in that 22 car. Tommy Ryan, Robert Fryery the third in row 5. Row 6, Bob Gillenwater, Stephen Miles. Eric Arnold, Mike Kelly there in row number 7. Row 8, Richard Swadley and Robert Barber, the new name for you. Scott Formosa, another name for you. And the Dean Machine there starting in 18th. Scott Simley, Matthew Martell there in row 10. Row 11, Doy Woods, Kevin DeBrown. Brent Scott, Jose Gonzalez. Row number 12. Row 13, Chad Coleman, Jeff Ryan. Joey Zatina, Mark Schrader. Kevin Stone and E.J. O'Rourke. Schrader part of the undecided team. That's the one. Josh Parker, Alan Wild. Surprised Parker didn't qualify after the conversation he and I had last week. Joe Hudson, Doug Sigmund there in row 17. Brian Wortman there in row 18 along with Gerald Livingston. Race information tonight. It is 130 laps, 3 sets of tires, 2 overtimes if needed. You can get all the information on the league at sim500.com, and per usual, it is the iRacing default weather. And I think we're going to add a lap all of a sudden here. So let's go. Give me a minute to do some more chatting here. Looks like Glenn Campbell not able to make the start. This is history, by the way, tonight for the Xfinity Series and Sim500. Why? Well, because this is the first race that this series has seen the Milwaukee Mile. Sim500's been here 4 other times and it has not been in this series. It is the last time it was here, as a matter of fact, it was in 2001 for a super late model series, basically. Trucks have ran here once, Trans Service Truck Series, but we have not had an Xfinity race here presented by NC811. So this is going to be a new one tonight. Somebody will be the first winner in Sim500 here at this track. Lights are off the pace car after that little bonus lap of pace. 35 cars going to come off turn 4 here and take the green flag. And of course, as you know, the camera is presented by TrackCams22.com, or TrackCams for Gourmet, their proper name. As here we go, Mac McMillan, Justin Fuller in that tricky pit road right there to your right. Bring them to the green flag for the first time. The Sim500 Xfinity Series sees the green in Milwaukee. Right off the bat, McMillan getting loose a little bit down there on that bottom side, and Fuller to the front. Two by two off turn number 4 as Campbell makes it back to pit road, by the way. And unfortunately, he's going to lose a lap here at the start of this race. And Richard Swavely is off the track with some issues back here. Eric Arnold with some issues, it looks like, also, as they're scattered 3 and 4 wide. Sure if somebody got loose or whatnot. Definitely not the way you want to start this race. It looks like it started with Eric Arnold. Let's see if we can find what happened to him here. Let's do 1 and 2 off of turn 4 here. Swavely there behind him, and Eric just loses the back end. And then Richard checks up and gets rooted out of the way, I think, by the 80. Obviously got a couple of new cars here, so I got to learn the numbers of these guys. Laps complete already. Played for the most part single file. You look at this track as another version of New Hampshire, if you will. You see Coleman make moves inside of Jeff Ryan. That is the 21st position right there. Rolling that bottom line. Jeff doing a good job holding that top, but he's probably hurt his tires a lot more doing that. As we ride with Jeff there behind him, Formosa, as I mentioned, that number 80 car. Joey Jatina there, Josh Parker. It's funny, I was talking to Josh Parker last week about some stats of his, and it's funny, I brought it up to him, and he goes, well, I guess I'm not going to be starting at the back anymore. Oh, you know what it is? It was the fact that he had not won in 2 years. And I brought that up to him. He goes, oh, I guess I'll start. I won't be starting at the back anymore. Starting in the back. Wonder if you forgot that comment. The Dean machine there. The 86 Wrangler car under attack as Kevin Brown works his inside. Doy Woods right there with him. I think that's Mike Kelly. The dueling Exalta cars. It's actually Scott Simley. Mike Kelly's up further ahead there in the 11th position, with this back here at the 15th spot. So I've been told you can do about 80 to 85 laps on a tank of fuel. So it's simply a one-stop race. It's just a matter of where you come to pit road and what lap. You let the tires run for a while, because as we've seen lately in iRacing, you do not want to be the first to pit road. You also don't want to be the last. Seems like somewhere right in the middle of the road there is where you kind of want to be to have that chance to maybe jump to victory lane here, especially at a track like this. I know Dean's won here in another series. And I see some left rear damage already in that 86, so that's not good. Simley on attack. Brent Scott back there, Chad Coleman, Joey Jatina, and others. Coleman, or Fuller, I should say, out to about a tenth of a second on McMillan. Tyler Dalton about 2/10 back. Everybody within a second of each other all the way down the field. And I mean literally down the field. The biggest gap, you got to go back to Brian Wortman in 35th, who's 0.8 of a second off of Gerald Livingston. I like the chrome on that 33. Very nice looking. As Brent Scott, that 20th position, rolls up on Jose Gonzalez. Now you can run down there underneath that patch or that curving that is between pit road and the track. I don't suggest you do that, though. Let's just probably just not do that. Probably not a good idea. Ask me how I know that answer. But 11 laps now in the books here. And it's been the Fuller show so far here at the front. As we bounce around here. Everybody pretty much single file for the most part. Nelson Rivera, Braxton DeWeese there in that 5 car. Different paint scheme there. And Allen's Art Images on the car. Kind of got a Mark Martin throwback look to it. It's a pretty cool looking car. Let's go back here to Jose Gonzalez, who battles with Dean now. So more side-by-side racing. Everybody just trying to sort themselves out. Log laps here early in this race. 12 laps. out of 130. Track position is the all-time key when it comes to this track. Gonzalez trying to clear, but surprisingly, that high line is actually fighting pretty decently here. So 14 laps in the book. Stephen Miles starting to make moves. Robert Barker in that 57 Flow Racing car is under attack there. That is for the 11th position, 12th position, I should say. Right behind them, Matthew Martell, the 51. That's Fuller starting to stretch it out up front. So more of the battles here happening mid-pack. Miles makes the pass and clears the 57. You see the 51 there behind, trying to make the moves now. Kevin Brown also trying to get through there as we complete lap 15. So 16 laps completed. You see Eric Arnold was just 3 wide there with Dean and E.J. O'Rourke. So the racing really picking up as they get towards the back here. I think they're starting to see Fuller pull away now. And obviously the longer we go here, the tires wear out, gets even tougher to pass at a track like the Milwaukee Mile here. Probably the biggest field I've ever seen in a race here on iRacing. I know obviously back in the early days, it was always the weekend of the Sonoma Road Race for the Cup cars. You would see the trucks in the Xfinity Series, at the time Busch Series, come racing here. And of course the infamous race of Denny Hamlin, Eric Almirola was at this track back years ago. When Almirola won the race at Martinsville a couple weeks ago, the story was brought up how Almirola raced here one night. It was a Saturday night. Hamlin wouldn't qualified at Sonoma and basically had some issues because of weather getting to Milwaukee. Well, because of that, it started the race with Eric Almirola, who actually had won the pole, in the car. And as you know, NASCAR rules state that whoever starts the car basically gets the result of the race. So Almirola goes out, leads the first portion of the race. Caution comes out, and I believe, from what I understand the story, is that the sponsor, which was Rockwell Automation, pretty much said, Mr. Gibbs, we want Denny Hamlin in that car. So after a little tussle, I believe, back and forth of arguing or whatnot, you go where the money is, and that's the sponsor. So Eric Almirola comes down pit road. They lose 2 laps. Hamlin gets in the car. He gets the 2 laps back and wins the race. Goes and celebrates. Meanwhile, Eric Almirola is deemed the actual winner because he started the 20 car. That's how that whole race went that night here at the Milwaukee Mile. So 21 laps in the books. McMillan under attack. Tyler Dalton, John Schweikert, Braxton DeWeese right there battling 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. J.P. Phillips right behind him also. following the coffee car, if you will. One of the two coffee cars. The other one's out in second or ahead of this pack. Now to turn one. A lot of off-throttle time here. It's 88 miles an hour through the corner. Because it kind of just drives a lot like New Hampshire when you think about it. You know, a lot of braking. You just let the car kind of roll through the corner. 145 miles an hour. Just let her ride into the corner. You want to try to keep it down on that asphalt there. Just roll it back to the throttle all the way back off. You can see a lot of loose off there. Go back here as Eric Arnold tries to get around Robert Barber for 21st. Arnold, of course, started up towards the front, but almost wrecked early in this race. Lost a lot of track position. Now he's trying to get that 31 back up through the field. You see Joey Jatina also a part of this battle, but we do have some big movers in this race to keep an eye on. Josh Parker up 12 spots from 31st to 19th. EJ O'Rourke up from 30th to 20th as they race their way up through the field. Unfortunately, they're going to probably need some yellow if they're going to get up here in race with Fuller and McMillan later on in this race. Yeah, I'm interested to see also, Devin, what the Indy cars do here. I know they've had some interesting races in the past. I think of the one with Bourdais that pretty much lapped the field. He was pretty quick that day. So there's always been drama here. I know on iRacing and IndyCar is one of the funnest things to drive around this track, as you can run from here to the bottom all the way up to the top of the track almost to find clean air on the car. But in real life, you can't really do that. You run right down on that bottom and single file usually, and so Scott makes the pass. And moves up to the 22nd position as Dean trying to follow him through. Joey Jatina there with him. Let's go up here where Martell trying to hold off Kevin DeBrown, Scott Simley, Doy Woods. We've got these couple of just different packs right now of cars either, I don't want to say holding up, but maybe just struggling a little bit aero-wise, but other cars cannot get past them because, well, again, mostly single groove track. You see some cars sliding up. Here's Doy Woods going to slide underneath Simley now for 15th. If he can complete the pass or at least get the grip, not able to do so there. You start to see Parker sliding into the picture there behind Jose Gonzalez and Chad Coleman. Appreciate the viewers watching here this evening. Hopefully you're enjoying your weekend. And always hit that subscribe button if you are watching for the first time. If you're not new to the channel, we appreciate you, of course, coming back and joining us this evening as Tyler Dalton under attack. Or I should say, Dalton attacking. Trying to get around Schweikert. You see he's lost a position to Braxton in that 5 car. And Schweikert's going to hold him off in the 1. Here comes J.P. Phillips now in the 20th. That's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Priory there in 7th. Checking in here on a Sunday night. Chris DeWeese, per usual. David D-Max, Doug Middendorf, the whole Braxton DeWeese club hanging out watching. And Braxton apparently is going to turn 21 tomorrow, so congratulations on that one, Braxton. It all goes downhill from here. Ask me how I know. Justin Fuller has left the field. Yes, he's got a 3.4 second lead on everybody as Joey Jatina comes to pit road. here at lap 28. These cars are sliding around. There's Doy Woods, Coleman there, Jose Gonzalez. A whole lot of these guys trying to fight it out. As Jatina leaves pit road, it looks like a scheduled pit stop at the lap 30 mark here. I was wondering if you're going to hear some shifting. I heard somebody in third gear right there. I think it might have been Martel. I mean, they are nearly 9/10 of the way through the corner before they get back to the throttle here. Just how the tires are just sliding everywhere here. Of course, with the track temp as always here at Sim500 Racing is always maxed out as high as you can get it. They start the race in the afternoon. You get track temps at about 130 miles an hour. Yeah, we got wind apparently of that high. Don't ask. Temperature wise of 130. If we get 130 mile an hour winds in Milwaukee, we got a problem. Oh, Eric Arnold getting turned by Gonzalez. And that's going to bring the caution out. I don't see nose damage. Looks like he kept it off the inside wall. That North Carolina 811 car. Caught it out of the corner of my eye. It looked like, I couldn't tell if Arnold had crossed up in front of Gonzalez's nose or if Gonzalez hooked him, or but either way, we're going to find out here in 2 seconds. Go crash cam here. Arnold gets down on that rumble strip trying to get a little grip. So is E.J. O'Rourke. O'Rourke gets into Gonzalez, who gets into Arnold. Slightly kisses the wall. All right, let's jump to pit stops here real quickly. Race off pit road, Fuller. DeWeese, McMillan. Schweiker, Dalton, J.P. Phillips. We'll come back and we'll show you those pit stops real quick. But first, we're going to take a break, step away, come back, and get you more racing here from the Milwaukee Mile under caution for the first time on the Captain Esports Network.
This tree is going to look great here.
Did you call 811 to protect your underground utilities?
I can't wait to see these roses come up.
Dig, dig, dig! Wait, we forgot to call 811.
Before you dig, make sure you can. Call 811 to know what's below. It's up to all of us to protect the ones we love.
All right, back we are under caution here at lap number 35. E.J. O'Rourke getting into Jose Gonzalez, who got into Eric Arnold, who spun Eric Arnold. And caution comes out there for the first time. Let's go back to the pit stops here. And you see that tricky pit road. You hang a left right here, and very tight pit stalls. And you see it's kind of uneven a little bit there with the elevation. And 4 tires and fuel for everybody. We pretty much all had normal stops. Brian Wortman did Brian Wortman things and led a lap. And again, as mentioned, a race off pit road. Fuller able to get it. Braxton DeWeese coming out second. right, pace car lights are off. Going back double file here. Less than 100 laps to go. Of course, the usual Sim500 doubleheader this week. Tonight, the Milwaukee Mile. And then tomorrow is, of course, the Sim500 NC811.org Cup Series. As they will race. As pace car going to pull off here. And into the hands of Fuller, who leads them back to the green. Deweese, McMillan. John Schweiker is going to dive it into the top side, 3 wide. I think that's kind of no man's land up there, but he's going to try it. Hey, for effort. The Cup car is at Dover, by the way, tomorrow. We go from 1 mile track to another 1 mile track. As Deweese gets pushed up the track a little bit there. Schweiker going to clear for third. Tries to get a run for second. McMillan, a little defensive move there. And here comes the Spider-Man to the inside of J.P. Phillips. Tyler Dalton right there with him. Tommy Ryan also chasing. You wonder if McMillan learned some things watching Fuller out there, who was able to stretch it out to almost a 4-second lead on the long run. As McMillan dives it inside here, trying to get Fuller back for the lead, and he is going to get it from him. So Mac McMillan to the lead here at lap number 40. As Schweikert still is trying to get that top side to work for him. So patient on the throttle. So McMillan, who of course won the pole for the race, was not able to lead that first lap after Fuller was able to get around them. But then after that, of course, McMillan just made the pass for the lead there after the first caution. As Mac trying to get away now from that 55 car. Everybody single file through at least the first 9 positions. And looks like Doy Woods got the first side-by-side battle as he and E.J. O'Rourke are side-by-side into turn 1. Nelson Rivera right there in front. Jose Gonzalez with a view there as E.J. slides way up the track. I don't know if the E.J. groove will work here. E.J. groove uses up against the wall, but if you go up against the wall here, you're going to end up near Road America somewhere. There are a couple of little things about this track that you got to be careful of. One, obviously the different braking points that everybody has. It's so easy to run somebody over going into the corners here because of the different braking points. If you're somebody that drives in early or drives in deep, you got to be careful of that. The other portion you have to look out for is over here in turn 1. I've done this before, and I'm probably not the only one. But there's an inside wall over here as you enter the corner, and you enter before the wall really fades away, but right to the left there, you could kiss that thing and it ruin some days. Right on board with Tommy Ryan, the Northern Tool 99 car. 46 laps in the books next time by, and we have a procession line literally all the way back to about 26th position. And here's the 26th spot I was just talking about. Eric Arnold going past Jeff Ryan. 57 there on a line a little bit there of Barber, who's got Kevin Stone to his inside. A little downshift there from McMillan as he comes out of turn 4 trying to get the bite. Of course, McMillan early in the season was one of the hottest drivers. Obviously, it got going, and he missed a couple of weeks of racing and has come back and pretty much picked up where he left off. Good run here so far. The 77 car, Robert Friery. At 77, running 8th. Right there behind Tommy Ryan's got Mike Kelly. Mike was showing some visuals earlier. I mentioned thoughts and prayers with all the families and towns over here in the Midwest, Nebraska and Iowa and stuff like that. Mike actually showing a map of apparently he has a was it a camper or RV or something like that that is in a garage somewhere or something, put away or whatever, and showed a photo like of where the tornado hit or something like that, and where his property was or whatever, and it just missed it by like a half a mile, which is like scary to think about. So thoughts and prayers to those people there in that area. As Fuller goes to the inside and looks for the lead. Not able to complete the pass yet. Fuller clipped that rumble strip there on the inside there, set the car up the track for a split second. He's able to hold it down and now fights with McMillan for the lead. Now, I don't know if Fuller was being 100% honest with me or whatnot, but he said to me before the race when we talked, I'm not that good here. And now I currently look at this battle with my head turned sideways like a dog when it's confused. Again, Fuller sliding up the track there a little bit, easy to do. McMillan doing a good job, giving enough room, not really squeezing too much, but still want to kind of put the pressure on the 55. Don't want to slide up too far up the track, because then you not only lose the lead, but then lose the momentum off the corner, and you'll have the one car in your bumper. There's McMillan up the track a little bit. I think Fuller tried to push him up a little bit. And here comes DeWeese looking to the inside, the one car. So very surprised by this side-by-side racing. I mean, I heard from a couple drivers tonight it was literally, oh, and the one gets loose. And Fuller gets loose up there. Not sure there was contact with the one, but he's all sideways. Lost the position of Phillips. Here comes Dalton as McMillan clears and keeps the lead. Appreciate the viewers watching here this evening. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. If you're not new, we appreciate you coming back and joining us this evening for Sim500 Racing, presented by NC811.org. It is the Milwaukee Mile tonight, race number 15 of 20 in the regular season. That's right, after tonight, only 5 races left in the regular season. 16 cars going to make the playoffs as Mack to the bottom, or I should say Fuller to the bottom. 16 drivers make the playoffs just like last season. Everything's still the same. You run half the playoffs, you cut the field in half, and Fuller with the bumper to him. Oh, a little lean. And Braxton waiting to pounce there in that 5 car. There's a little door bang into 3. And here comes the 5. As Fuller not able to clear a McMillan, somehow kept that car with him. And Fuller clears for the lead. Let's see if the bumper gets returned. And Fuller sent it in there. I think he was expecting it. Fuller clears for the lead, lap 56. Fantastic racing up there for the lead. Entertainment to watch from out here. I'll say that. There's your top 4 into picture, and then a little bit of a gap back to John Schweikert, who's now 5th. There's Tyler Dalton, Robert Fryery, Mike Kelly, Josh Parker, who's up to the 9th position now. The 93 of Kevin DeBrown, who's right up there now in the top 10. Parker, at one of the toughest tracks to pass at, has worked his way up from nearly dead last and into the top 10 in this race. As Braxton going to go for second now, inside the 88. Goes around him. So, Mac, you wonder if he burned up the rear tires there, or maybe was like, hey, I'm going to give the 5 to Swan here and let him go get Mac and see if he can do so. You know, there's probably a little bit of a chip on the shoulder of that 5 after the finish last week at Pocono. Felt he had that race won, and then all of a sudden here come the fresh tires of the 55 and literally sent it into turn 3. Contact was made in the battle, the 55 halfway through the grass, and so many different elements happening there, and able to steal the win away. Back here, Tommy Ryan. Well, that's an interesting way of passing. One car moves over, lets him go by. So Tommy Ryan up to the 5th position here. As we are coming up to halfway already in this race, 62 laps out of the 130. Miles and Simley, those two seem to be neck and neck with each other all night. A couple more comers into the field here. Chad Coleman up 10 spots to 15th. There's O'Rourke there behind him, who's gained 14 spots to 16th. Look at this. Here comes that 5. Oh, by the way, the points leader, we should say, Braxton DeWeese. Looking to take this lead away from Fuller after Justin had ran away a little bit ago. But as they say, Passing or catching's one thing, passing's another. Both of them using up that rumble strip, helping the car try to turn a little bit. As Kevin Brown has come to pit road. Not sure if that's a scheduled pit stop or not for the 93. Looking over here at the timing to see if that is a scheduled pit stop for Kevin. It is a scheduled stop, apparently, 15.4. So 93 pulls away as he is, I mean, the window's open right now to go the rest of the way on tires and fuel. So Kevin maybe just trying something different here to pull some undercut. Here's Eric Arnold, the pit road, the 31 in. So what they need to do is hope this race stays green. Of course, Joey Jatina pulled that move earlier in this race, and it did not work. As the caution came out, and he unfortunately now is sitting in 31st. He is back on the lead lap. But a move that unfortunately bit the Jatina car. Speaking of biting, that Spider car, JP Phillips. Not sure if a Spider likes coffee, but we're going to find out here in a second. I don't know if I ever want to see a Spider with coffee. That'd be an interesting mix. All right, 68 laps complete. Let's step away real quick just in case we get some pit stops here in the very near future as you're watching Sim500 and the NC811.org Xfinity Series.
When do you plan on putting in that new fence we've been talking about since last summer?
I guess I could start tomorrow.
Protect the ones you love and protect your buried utilities by contacting 811 before you dig, either by phone, the web, or the NC811 app. Know what's below before you dig. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are. As we are just north of 60 laps to go in a Sim500 NC811.org Xfinity Series races. There's your fresh tires, by the way, to the top side. As it has been the Justin Fuller show up front, but Braxton DeWeese not letting him get away here. As he was able to take second just a minute ago and sits literally less than 2/10 from that 55 car. As there they are right there. Appreciate all the viewers who are joining us tonight here on the Captain Esports Network. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you pass the word out to your friends and family. You all have access to the link there. You can always hit that share button, send the link out on your Discords or Facebook pages or Twitter pages or whatever pages you have. You can always send them out to those people. And the more viewers, the happier people are. Put it like that. Including myself, because then I get to meet new people and chat with new people. Got to do an emergency broadcast yesterday for a series I used to do some stuff with, and got to talk to some old friends and some new people, which was cool. One of my favorite things to do is be able to say hi to people and send shout outs out and put on some good broadcast. Well, at least I hope good broadcast. I'll let you guys determine that one. To the viewers and to the fans of these drivers, nothing like broadcasting a simulator of humans playing technically video games. That's what we're doing here, which is unique in itself. As EJ O'Rourke, let's go back here to the 14th place battle with Scott Simley, Chad Coleman there with him. I don't know, is it me or is it like kind of one of those things you just kind of feel weird for a moment? You're like, yeah, I race on this game, and you know, and on my end it's simulate, do broadcasting on a simulating thing. Nothing to be ashamed of, but it's just kind of weird, I guess, per se. But it's unique, you know, and I mean that weird in a good way too. And I get to do this. You see Fuller and Deweese coming up on Glenn Campbell. Eric Arnold back behind him with tires. You see already Kevin Brown has unlapped himself and pulls away. Lap times right now, Kevin Brown running about 3/4 of a second faster than the field. As David DeMax says, I need to get a car. Okay. David, if there's one thing that I could do for myself, if I wanted to get back on iRacing again, like if I was off hypothetically and wanted to get back into it or whatever, and it's one thing I always try to do with viewers who say, hey, I want to get on iRacing, is I would probably talk to any loved ones that are involved first, and be ready to do a lot, because it can become an addiction really quickly, which can lead to a lot of money spending as Braxton turns her sideways. Not sure if he got in the back of Fuller there or not. Well, that was interesting. A four-wheel drift into one. To be honest with you, I actually started on iRacing. I had a laptop at that time, and I had a Momo wheel at that time. And needless to say, I had to broadcast on like 15 frames a second, which is at best. I did end up going out and getting a Cat 6 cable to hook up to the to my computer, because obviously wireless can be kind of tricky with linking out and stuff like that. But I am now sitting here on a pretty good computer. I would suggest a good computer because of all the elements that have now been added to the sim. As Mike Kelly goes past Tyler Dalton here for 8th. And Josh Parker's on pit road. So here's the first of the leaders coming in on this very unique pit road. More tires and fuel. And a 14.8 as you see Jeff Ryan also on pit road. So obviously Parker's going to want this race to stay green here. As Mark Schrader, Glenn Campbell come to pit road. Fuller able to get away now by 0.8 of a second, so you wonder if Braxton maybe hurt those rear tires trying to save that car. I mean, 8 years ago I bought this, or 9 years ago I bought this wheel lab. Now it's a G27. I bought it for like $250 at that time. I don't know how much it'll go for now, but obviously there's a lot better wheels now probably. But anything Logitech's usually pretty good, and then of course you get a good computer, and then you pay for the service, and then you pay for the tracks and the cars, and you spend a few $1,000s when it's all over with, at least. If you got the money, the time, and the family that support you, go for it. Don't hold back. Go get it. That's Kelly making the pass on Friery now, so Mike up to the 7th position, having a great run there in that 77 car. As Jeff Ryan with issues. And he gets back on track and has spun around over here actually in turn 3 and 4, and there's the caution. Oh, this is going to hurt some drivers. Caution out for the second time. Jeff Ryan has gone for a spin. And for those who have pitted here, Ouch. Let's see what happened to the 3 car. Goes 3 wide into turn 3, and contact's made, and Jeff's in the grass and goes around and hops a, oh, that's a curve for you. A invisibly banked curve there or something with grass. Maybe the car's going around them to bring the caution out. Just aggressive racing, unfortunately, gone bad. As leaders are on pit road here. And we do got some cars that are going to stay out. That probably is a matter. Look at that. Braxton DeWeese with a 14-4. Outruns Fuller off pit road. Good stop there for the 5. But we are going to have some cars that are going to stay out after pitting during that green flag run. Kevin DeBrown, Eric Arnold, Josh Parker. Now, Parker might have actually been the lucky dog. Not sure if he stayed on the lead lap or not. I'll have to check on that when we get the opportunity. All right, let's go back to this spin one more again. Ryan had the run to the inside. He had Barber and Stone. They just squeezed down on each other. Ryan, unfortunately, I don't want to know what's on this end of the grass and this asphalt here. Holy cow, that's a hill or something. That's coating is what that's called. All right. Caution out for the 3rd time, or 2nd time, I should say here. Let's actually step away again. Let's get you another break and come back and get you more green flag racing from the Milwaukee Mile, Sim500, NC811.org Xfinity Series on the Captain Esports Network.
What a nice day to install my new mailbox.
Hi there, friend. I'm Dig Safely Man. My job is to ensure you call 811 before you dig.
Why do I need to do that?
Vital utilities like natural gas and electric run just beneath the Earth's surface. Damaging them can cause service interruption, environmental hazards, or personal injury.
I thought only contractors had to call before they dig, so homeowners do too.
Call 3 business days before you dig unless you have X-ray vision. Visit nc811.org to learn more.
All right, back we are here at the Milwaukee Mile. 86 laps in the books, and we've got ourselves some strategery. As Kevin DeBrown, Eric Arnold, Josh Parker are the top 3. Parker was still on the lead lap when the caution came out, and that allowed him to get around here and be in the top 3 now. So those pit stops, Parker ended up winning out on this deal with the way the cautions fell. As he's gained a lot of track position here, and now the matter is, can they hold on? As we come back to green, Braxton DeWeese, the first one on 4 tires on the outside lane, 2nd car. In the 4th position, Justin Fuller, 5th, McMillan, Ryan, Phillips, Schweikert, and Kelly, your top 10. As we go back to it, and some wheel spin, and Dalton, a little bit of a lazy spin back there. Caution's back out. Unfortunately, Dalton looks like he backed into a light pole now in the rear end, but caution out again. Good job by everybody to stay away from that 19 car. Just a big checkup. anticipating the restart, unfortunately. Let's watch this again. Kevin Brown bringing him up. A little bit of gap there with the 55. Actually, it looks like the 99 tries to go. What we need to do, obviously, is make sure. Let's jump up here to Tommy. It looks like he's the first one where I saw this little gap right here. And you see, there's no restart zone. There's the white line. Yeah, Tommy tries to go, and, well, they have to check up. So, before I say, hey, Tommy should have probably anticipated a little bit better there, let's watch on board. Kevin held steady at $5,000, so no real shenanigans on the restart there. Just unfortunate people trying to anticipate the start there, and we had a chain reaction. Yeah, this gives us an opportunity to talk to someone. So let's talk with the driver of the 93. That being Kevin Catman Brown, as he leads here at the Milwaukee Mile. Kevin, you got a copy? Kevin might have his mic muted or something.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good so far. Obviously, some strategy play here. You short pit and get yourself back on the lead lap. You, Eric, and Josh here restarting 1-2. Now it's 1-2-4. It looks like, or might be 3. I'm not sure how Parker ended up there, but either way, up front here, is track position going to help you here, or is the tires eventually going to get you? What are you thinking here?
I think we're screwed pretty much. I was forced to stay out. We put it on lap 64, so I think this 20+ old tires. I think we're pretty much screwed unless miraculously it's just caution after caution, but I doubt it. So yeah, let's just hope we go green for a little bit and I don't get laps.
Now, obviously, you being the leader of this race, you're going to get down there and plant it down on that curve in the inside groove here. Is this going to be one of those you're going to make them get around you the hard way, or how we plan on racing? Because I know you to be aggressive.
I was about to say, you know me, of course I'm going to make it hard on these people to pass me.
Top side.
They're going to have to wreck me.
Well, I see the top side restart here. Is this to help?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How would I know? Anyways. All right. Well, hey, best of luck.
Thanks, man.
And get the cats back. Anyways, Kevin Brown restarting as the leader up there in that top side. And the reason why I brought up the teammate thing is Parker behind him. And, of course, that's going to help out Fuller now, too, who's in the outside lane. Braxton Louise going to restart behind Eric Arnold. Arnold's going to try to time this to where he can maybe still be side by side going to turn 1, but we'll see how this goes. This could be interesting. As Josh and Kevin get a pretty good launch. Parker going to move to the inside. 3 wide. Here comes some beating and banging. Fuller gets clear up to 3rd. As Parker goes to the lead and Kevin Brown gets freight trained. Tommy Ryan up to the 4th position. Pretty wide. Eric Arnold, unfortunately, is in a sandwich. That's a Georgia sandwich right there with Miles and Coleman. Now they're almost 4 wide down to turn 1. Schweikert 3 wide with Kevin and E.J. O'Rourke. As contact back here, Schrader into the wall with the 43 of Hudson. And the caution is out, and Hudson has blown that Hot Wheel up. A caution for the 4th time. Let's see what happened as they were 3 wide back here. How about 4 wide there with Joey? Oh boy. Saw a little bit of that. Let's go back and watch that again. We were 4 wide, boys. Look at this. Joey gets up in the 83 as Hudson was pushing the 80. They were sliding up the track, not realizing that Tyler Dalton's on the outside. I mean, that was literally, I hate to say this, for the Mark Schrader car, but he just got flanked by the Sim500 guys, the Mafia guys. And of course, no save for Barry. Oh, of course, you got to hit the tire thing there. Breaks the left front off the 83, the 43 with damage. So unfortunately, another driver in his season debut. Not sure if it's overall debut in the series, but Schrader going to be out of the race, and the Joe Hudson, boom goes the dynamite. You see the black smoke. Never a good thing. The cautions breed cautions. And a reminder, we will be in Dover tomorrow night for the next race of the Cup Series presented by NC811 from the Monster Mile. Hopefully you come join us for that at 8:15. Kevin England will join me in the booth and go from there. Of course, we got broadcasting each and every day pretty much this week, except Thursday. I say as of now because I wasn't planning on doing one Saturday, and I ended up doing one Saturday when I got home from work. So, you never know. Getting a Mac McMillan update from chat on his race. Brake bias is too high, never raced here. Trying to figure out another way to get to the center roll on old tires. I think I need a solid 6% out. I think he's saying that he needs more rear end braking. Is that what I'm getting out of that? Yeah, unfortunately, the only way I know to get around this track, and I haven't raced here in a couple of years, to be honest with you, is that bottom here in this stock car. I mean, the only thing you can do now is you got 30 laps to go, and unfortunately, as long as you keep getting cautions, pitting for tires is going to get you nowhere. So you're kind of caught in a box right here. And even if you do, even if you do get about a 15 lap run, say we get a caution about 115, I still don't know if it's worth getting tires at that point unless you can get a lot of the field to come back to pit road. Because as you see, passing is at a premium here. Josh Parker, who pitted at lap 77, leads this race. Fuller pitted at that caution at 83 is second. Deweese, Tommy Ryan, Mac McMillan, your top 5. Yes, here we go again. A little bit of a stack up once again, but everybody makes it through unscathed, it looks like. Parker clear for the lead, and the battle for second is here comes Braxton inside of Fuller. as he clears them. So move the 5 up to second as McMillan tries to get Tommy Ryan back here for 4th. Oh, Rourke with the send. And he's going to make the pass on Schweikert. And here comes Braxton for the lead. Parker shuts the door on him. And it slides up the track a little bit, and that allows the 5 to get in there. Ooh, Josh squeezing a little bit here. Braxton using that curve a little bit to turn. He's going to get him right here. Move the 5 to the front. Braxton DeWeese with 28 to go. And unfortunately, he might be having little flashbacks. Thankfully, he's only 20 years old here, so not many flashbacks you can have in life when you're that old. I mean, other than your child days or stuff, but flashbacks to Pocono last week. That 55 right here behind him. Martell back there catching the wall a little bit off 4. If anybody's been able to race with that 55 here tonight in Milwaukee, it's been that 5. But as we saw earlier, Fuller not afraid to use that bumper as he did earlier on the 88. As here's Mack to the inside of Parker for 3rd. Got him. So move back up to the 3rd position ahead of Parker. So now you're seeing what is simply 6-lap newer tires, basically, with a heat cycle on them, starting to get around Parker as he starts to fall back. Tommy Ryan, Robert Fryery, Mike Kelly up into the top 10 as he's had a great run tonight. So back here, we're Coleman trying to get around Schweikert. Stephen Miles there behind him. Jose Gonzalez, Nelson Rivera, all these guys right here. You see E.J. O'Rourke trying to find a way around the 20. Doing his best improvisation of a E.J. line, which is normally right up against the wall. But as I said here earlier, if you go up against the wall in Milwaukee at this track, you're basically putting yourself up near Road America. These guys racing hard for position, and back here are racing even harder. Martell, Joey Jatina, Bobby Gillenwater. Oh, and around goes to 57 back there. Robert Barber has spun and brought the caution out. Watch out, Wortman. Wortman 3-wheeling it around there. Ooh. Caution out with 24 to go. I don't think you can pit here. I honestly don't. See what they do here before I show the replay. What do you think? Are we pitting here, team? Are we not pitting? What we got here? You guys help me make the call in chat. If you're Fuller, do you pit? If you're 10th, do you pit? Chad Coleman? If you're Scott Simley in 16th, you coming to pit road? Or if you're, are you doing the opposite of what the leaders do? everybody comes to pit road. If I'm mid-pack, I'm staying out. I mean, you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. Oh, man. Gonzalez, I like the move he made there. Just nobody went with him. I mean, if you're 15th on back, why not stay out? I mean, track position's killing them. We do have some 2 tires. Robert Fryer, E.J. O'Rourke, Schweikert, Phillips. See, now you're putting the fresh tires. Uh-oh. Fuller and Braxton with speeding penalties. Oh, no. Did they get him on entry, I wonder? Well, no, because they would have held him on pit road. This is huge. And there's still, what am I counting here, 29 cars on the lead lap. That's a good question, Anthony. Let's see if it was. Anthony Calantoni, fresh off his trip to Dover earlier. Was it a unsafe entry? Either way, I would think it would have been a hold on pit road, would it have not? Or a speeding penalty. Give me a second here, because a lot of things have happened during this little time, so I got to scroll all the way up the replay board here. It's going to be a minute here. There's really no other way of doing this, unfortunately, with the SDK program, because it's showing like everybody who's come to pit road and the race off and so on and so forth here. Okay, we didn't even show the caution yet, so let's, all right, here we go. Let's let everybody see here. Let me stop and let's go to the blimp. So, you know what it is? Right here. Isn't that not the commitment line right there? That yellow line? Well, if so, then everybody would have been penalized. So it had to have been speeding of some sort. You're going to see the 5 shoot into the photo here in a second. There had to be some kind of speeding there. Our green is out and they've wrecked. More replays. Mike Kelly, Tyler, or Scott Simley, Tyler Dalton. I looked over and saw the standings. So like, yep, they're wrecking. I was trying to get you guys. We'll just call this an advancement of this caution. All right, what happened here in the restart, or attempted restart? Looks like another checkup here at the front. It actually is going to start up at the front, it looks like. What in the world were they doing? Tommy gets into Coleman, who turns to 30, and oh boy. See, Gonzalez was given some space in case he spun the tires or something here, I think. And EJ decides he's just going to fill the gap here, and Robert Fryery comes down the track, and they make contact, and we're 3 wide at the restart. They hit each other, and everybody's, what in the world? Sorry, I missed the start there, guys. I was obviously trying to figure out what was going on with the other 2. The good news is we got replays to show you here. Let's that there was a little bit of a CF, if you will. I'm not going to say the word because I'm professional. I try to be. And here we go. I mean, it starts. I mean, it's all up in here. You guys start hitting each other. Parker's trying to get Schweikert going. Everybody's hitting everybody. They're 3 wide. They're 4 wide. They're all checking up. Everybody's hitting everybody. Miles gets a little bit of damage. They get into Dalton, who gets into Simley, and things start happening. Real quickly, let's go back to the last caution. And what happened to Barber? Barber's out here all by himself. Doug Sigmund there behind him. And just going to lose the rear end of the car. And Wortman 3 wheels the thing. So that brings the caution out. And you know what? Let's do this. Let's go back to the pit stops. There's really no way to tell, unfortunately. Yeah, because I don't have a way of pulling up the tachometer, I don't think. Or do I? Wait a minute. Yes, I do. I had to think about this for a second. Yes, I do. No, I don't. Thought I could pull it off, but never mind, I can't. Anyways. Yeah, so unfortunately no way to tell the speed at that moment, so it is what it is. But not sure if it was speeding or an unsafe entrance, but either way, the 5 and 55 find themselves now in the 24th and 25th positions. And for Fuller, that streak of top 3 finishes might be gone now. But Robert Friery leading this race with 15 to go. Jose Gonzalez, E.J. O'Rourke, John Schweikert, Josh Parker now your top 5. Parker definitely made out with the that caution there as he had that pit strategy. We got, oh, and there goes Gonzalez into the wall and a wreck it again. Oh, and this is even bigger. Parking lot. McMillan involved. Damage on a lot of cars here. I hope to goodness Luke Daniels is not watching this stream right now. Luke Daniels, for those who don't know, is a friend of mine that will share his opinion on restarts. Let's gonna start right up in front again here. Let's go to the crash cam first. We have a lot to break down here. So the leader is obviously Fryer in the 77. And, well, the guys behind him expect them to go, and they didn't go, and EJ's in the back of Jose. And it pretty much lifts them off the ground. And from there, we have a debris field. Never mind. I think the anger rate just went from like 1 to 10 with a lot of drivers right now. Let's get this from the blimp. I mean, let's start counting cars. There's 6 right there. Bob Gillen, Jeff Ryan's like, I'm just going to go to pit road. There goes Wortman through. Unfortunately, the blimp view's a little tight there, so I'm not able to get everybody. All right, let's look from the main view here. We have had, what, 3 of the biggest wrecks in Sim500 history here in this season in the Xfinity car. I was about to comment Chad Coleman's modified back there when this wreck broke out. I mean, Miles takes a lick. Martell takes a lick. This could be up there in the biggest wreck. Let's see where we're at real quickly here before. Are we about to go green? Yeah, we're doubled up, so. All right, 10 laps to go. A lot of cars getting damage fixed. I can only imagine what's being said right now. So we got Robert Fryery, John Schweikert, Josh Parker, the modified of Chad Coleman, and oh, by the way, the 57, who just spun literally like 4 laps ago, is now 5th. Of Robert Barber. Formosa is 6th, and then Braxton DeWeese is 7th now. And what's left of the field goes green. As here comes Parker for the lead. Trying to get it. Schweikert going there with him to second. Jeff Ryan comes to pit road. I think that's a penalty for him coming to pit road to simply miss that wreck. Schweikert to the top sign on Fryery. Oh, 57 outplowed the wall, and there goes Braxton to 4th. McMillan going to follow him through to the 5th spot. Here comes Tyler Dalton. I think it's safe to say, going off of Thomas's comment there and a couple others, I have to go back and, oh, Schweikert's loose into Parker, and he goes around. Never mind. And Parker wrecks too, by the way. And everybody else going to avoid. Caution back out. I was about to say the restarts have been very interesting this season. Pace car's gone. That started with Schweikert just getting loose, coming out of 4. And you know how you can tell you have too much weight on your right rear? Well, it's a good way to tell. When your left front's pretty much going to lift right here. There's nothing to catch it. Braxton gets the wall. So 5 laps to go here. Robert Friery trying to get that win. He has had his struggles literally for a very long time in this series. Shows up every week. Goes out there and does his best. Unfortunately involved in wrecks or just rough finishes or whatever. But obviously a chance here to change all of that. If he can go to victory lane. And he do so is the $1 million question here. I'm just checking really quickly to see how many starts a New York driver has here in Sim500 in the Sunday series. Make sure it's an accurate number. Must be used to him racing on Mondays. His 13th start here in this season, or in the series here for the Sunday series. He does have that 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s in those 12 races, but looking to go to victory lane here tonight, potentially for the first time. As we double up. Here we go. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th straight race I've done where we come to a green flag and it is not overtime, but we have 2 laps to go. So it's a green-white checker literally again. As Braxton is second to Robert Friery, Mac McMillan, Robert Barber, Tyler Dalton up to 5th. With 2 laps to go, do we get back to the line? We're about to find out. Oh, a couple cars with contact back there. Tommy Ryan had to save it, and he does. Braxton pushes up the track. McMillan with a run to the inside with toe problems apparently too. Max sends it into 3, off the curve. And contact with the 5, and there they go into the wall. Barber and a 5 in the wall, and here we go again. More carnage. And even more carnage. Now we're going to overtime. Let's see where. Looks like here, maybe? Sends it in there. He catches that curve and it slides him up the track and then gets hooked with that 5, and there's the 57 that goes around and in from there. It's just, I mean, Simley, blown motor, Kevin DeBrown, Chad Coleman. The only thing Mac did wrong there was he hit the curve and it sent him up the track into the 5. Right there. You can see the car jumps in the air. And it just checks everybody up. And everybody just hits everybody, and wrecking ensues. We have mosquito repellent out now on the 57. And we have, is that EJ O'Rourke or is that Fuller? That's O'Rourke back here. I think that is literally grinding up against the inside wall. That's interesting. Well then. Unfortunately, a little bit of a demo derby here at the end of this race. Meanwhile, Friery's up here. I just want to get the checkered flag. Give me a win here. It'd be only fitting if in the city of Milwaukee, a car that is a replica of the Miller Genuine Draft car from back in the heyday of Rusty Wallace's would maybe go to victory lane. So we've got McMillan, Friery, Richard Swavely is third now. Actually, he's going to be fourth. Tyler Dalton is third. You've got Christopher Dean there on the inside, the 86 car. You've got Formosa is on the outside there in the sixth spot. Tommy Ryan is seventh. Gerald Livingston is eighth. John Schweikert, and there sits Justin Fuller with a chance to potentially find his way on the podium if they keep this up. They get 2 tries, by the way, at overtime. This is the first. As here we go. I think there's a chance that the 57's car stopped running, and it did. And they are hitting the wall and everything back here, wrecking again. Tommy Ryan and, oh boy, more carnage. Fuller, Swavely, Ryan, Jeff that is, so both Ryans. I've lost count of cautions. Uh, 32 car goes up the track. And Gerald gets into Tommy, and they just pile in. Braxton DeWeese gets pile driven into the wall. Unfortunate, I should say, that these kind of things happen. Gerald gets the wall, turns off of it, and into the 99. And that's going to leave us with one more opportunity to end this race under the green flag. I'm going to give a shout out to NC811, of course, for being a sponsor not only of the Cup Series, of course, for 81 or for the Sim500 guys, but of course the Xfinity Series, they've been around, I know, on this series for, 3 seasons now. Second season over on the Cup side, of course, being a great supporter there. You can give them a follow on Facebook. Check out the Safe Digging Sports is their name on Facebook, the NC811 crew there. It's kind of a district area there of the southeastern parts, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. They've been great supporters. Not only they're great supporters on social media and for racing in general. I know Stoney Benfield, the Faster Pastor, is usually here like Monday nights and stuff. He runs the 811 car and does a lot of stuff for them. Randy Yoakum, who I don't think is here tonight, he does a lot of stuff for them. And good to see Ann and co-workers supporting racing online like Sim500. So should get one to go this time by, and we'll get one more attempt at this. A promising race, unfortunately, has turned into a demo derby. But we still got 2 laps to get her to the end here. You could see a great finish with Friery potentially getting that first win. The stats did load up here. Let me... Robert's name. So like I said, he's run a lot of the Cup side. As here he comes off turn 4 as we come to the green flag. One last chance to end this race under the green flag as Friery leads McMillan to the green. Tyler Dalton third as Robert gets the launch. Dalton up to third. Schweikert back up to fourth. As they come off turn 4, Friery gets loose. And white flag, here we go. McMillan to the outside. Tyler Dalton trying to do something here. They're going to drag race to the start-finish line. And Robert Friery gets the win. His first NC811.com or .org Xfinity win. By 3/100ths over Mac McMillan, Tyler Dalton third. John Schweikert fourth. And Formosa fifth. And for Robert Friery to third, he adds himself to the winners list in the history of Sim 500. And that Friery custom carpentry paint scheme goes to victory lane. As I mentioned, this is 132nd start overall in Sim 500. points across all the series. He gets win number 1 here tonight. Let him enjoy his moment here as definitely lighten up that motor. As we show you the finishing order. As Friary wins it, McMillan second, Dalton third, Schweikert and Formosa. Your top 5. Dean finishes 6th. Kevin Brown 7th, Nelson Rivera 8th, Brent Scott 9th, Brian Wortman gets a top 10. He'll be happy about that. Tommy Ryan 11th, JP Phillips 12th, Chad Coleman 13th, Gerald Livingston and Braxton DeWeese ends up in the top 15 as he continues his run to try to get that first win. Mike Kelly 16th, Stephen Miles 17th, Justin Fuller 18th, Swavely and Barber your top 20. Jeff Riney, Gio Rourke, Scott Simley, Josh Parker, Doy Woods your top 25. Jose Gonzalez, Matthew Martell, Glenn Campbell, Eric Arnold, Alan Wild, Bob Gillenwater, Kevin Stone, Doug Sigmund, Joey Jatina, Mark Schrader, finishing 35th. And last, unfortunately, goes to Joe Hudson in the 36th position here this evening. It should be some interesting interviews here as we talk to the drivers after the race here at the Milwaukee Mile. And we'll start with our third place finisher, Tyler Dalton, who gets back up here after a nice little lazy spin earlier in the race, but was able to hold on to her, not getting much damage after all of that takes place. And the carnage happens here at the end of this race, and you get yourself a third place finish.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be good enough to finish pretty decent here. I knew we needed a good finish points-wise. This is not how I expected it to happen. That's for sure. At the end, I don't know. I gave it all I had. In hindsight, looking at it, maybe I should have went low when they washed up, but I was having to downshift just to get it to turn. So I'm not sure it really would have mattered, but I had a huge run off 4, so one more lap would have been nice. But honestly, I'm thrilled to take this piece of junk home in third. It was still had probably no telling how much, probably a minute and a half of damage, and just got lucky missing a bunch of wrecks there.
Yeah, I was going to say, definitely missed a lot of the action there at the end as things just kind of broke loose there at the end. But hey, another good points night, obviously, and of course coming off that high there on Monday night here to come back with a top 3 finish.
Yeah, definitely great to get a podium finish after getting the win on Monday. Wednesday didn't go the way we wanted it to, unfortunately. But yeah, tonight I was looking forward to tonight. The line I normally run here, by about halfway in the race, just rubbered up so much it sort of went away. And it took me a while to really search around and find something else that worked, and I lost some spots there. But starting to get the hang of it, and then that restart happened where it looks like maybe a little bit of an accordion, and EJ got in the back of us and managed to keep it off the wall then. And then a wreck happened later, and I guess that sort of saved us a little bit because we were still sort of catching up the field when they all wrecked, and I think I saw someone in the air flipping, and somehow we managed to make it through those restart wrecks, and don't ask me how this car ended up third.
Well, obviously you did your part tonight to get there, avoiding wrecks or doing whatever you got to do to get there. So congratulations on that, as it looks like you are up to 8th in points now. As I'm looking over here at the updated numbers right now, 8th in points, and I'm looking down at the bubble. You're up by a good 61 points, it looks like, on the bubble. So that's got to feel kind of comforting.
Yeah, I think I was only like 43 coming in. That win at Homestead, if it wasn't for that, I'd be in trouble. We just had a lot of bad luck this year. Had a lot of good runs, just hadn't had the finishers to show for it. We've either finished inside the top 10 or top 5 or been in the 20s or 30s. Nothing really in between, so I guess we continue that tonight, just a little bit different way of doing it.
Well, great job tonight, and congratulations, and yeah, I think we move on. Did I give you a shout out chance? I've lost my brain here for a second.
Yeah, just I want to congrats to Robert. Good win for him there. I want to thank SC811 on the hood of the car and NC811 being the sponsor of the series. I want to thank Trend Service Logistics. I want to thank all my teammates down there at the Sim500 Mafia. And thank you for putting on the broadcast.
You guys put a little beating on that one car there mid-race going 4 wide. You, Joey, and Joe. I'm like, oh man, that's a Sim500 Mafia beatdown right there on that wreck.
Yeah, I was trying to be patient with staying behind him, and he was on Joey's outside. I knew Joey's on old tires, and he just wouldn't go. And I'm like, we gotta go. So finally, I just go to the very top up against the wall, and I don't know exactly what happened behind, but like I kept getting put 3 wide and stuff back behind me. So I'm like, we gotta go.
Right. I just thought about it for a second there. It's like, it's kind of funny moment there. Well, it's not funny at that time, but now I can kind of laugh about it. But great job tonight, man.
Thank you.
You too. Tyler Dalton, 3rd place finish there, survives. And unfortunately, they're going to have a long conversation down in the chat where they go over like all the races, race results and stuff, and figure out who's to blame for what and stuff like that. Could be kind of an interesting conversation there this evening. So Mac McMillan with some toe issues and all comes back to finish in the 2nd position here this evening as all types of you-know-what broke out. But obviously great comeback there to finish 2nd and just a lot of action.
Oh, man. First and foremost, I need to apologize to Braxton again. I've been talking to him down there. We were both hurt pretty bad after all them restarts, and we were talking back and forth on the mics, and I was like, yeah, man, I'm holding my wheel 2 or 3 inches to the left here. This thing is a dump truck in the center, but we're gonna send it and see what happens. And he was kind of the same way, and I just went off in there normal, but the car wasn't normal, and just slid up just about a half a lane. And I thought we barely kind of touched, but everybody was on his back bumper, and as soon as we touched, he got hit from behind and spun out and all that. So I really hated that happen, especially to him, man. But yeah, this was my first time ever at Milwaukee, and I went out there that first run thinking I'm saving some fronts, and obviously I was not saving too much front tire. I just lost the center, but I think the biggest thing was just not having a low enough brake bias, and then learning to shift on the fly. That was a big learning curve there in the middle of the race that really helped a lot.
Well, obviously, I guess it worked out for you. I don't know if you've looked at the replay with the Braxton deal, but I did catch. It looked like you clipped the curve on the inside, and it kicked your left front in the air. And when it did that, I'm thinking obviously 3 wheels ain't going to turn the car, which probably helped push you. And I'm sure you'll see that in the replay if you haven't. But needless to say, man, obviously you missed a couple weeks, obviously, and it hurt you points-wise. But now as I look over here, obviously still right there, 4th in points. Got plenty of room, over 100 points, actually a little over 100 to 16th here. It's got to feel pretty comfortable.
Yes, sir. Ready to get to them final 10. If we can make it to that top 16, I think I can race most of these races.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't have much time, man. This is about the only racing I do is once a week in this group.
Well, great job tonight, man, and send some shout out to whoever you like to.
Oh yeah, shout out again to Braxton and Robert. Robert for getting the W. It's pretty awesome, man. Had he won one before?
He had not.
Okay, look at him. And shout out to the Bully Dog Coffee Company. I wish I had just a little bit better toe. Might could have got a dub there, but the 5 and 55 were the long run cars. Either one of them deserved to win it. But hey, give me one of them 25 lap shootouts so we can make some hay.
Right?
Yeah, and shout out to you, buddy, for broadcasting. You do a great job.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations, and we will talk next week or tomorrow or sometime.
All right, Chris.
All right, you too. Mac McMillan finishing in the 2nd position here tonight. Of course, one of many damaged cars in the race, but one car that I think survived in the end, didn't have a single scratch on it somehow, is this 77 car, Robert Friery, the 3rd, who finally knocks that win column and puts a notch in it. And congratulations, Robert, adding yourself to the list of winners here at Sim500 and becoming the 10th winner on this season here in the Xfinity side.
Hey, Chris, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm at a total loss for words.
Well, obviously, everything just kind of opened up for you tonight. You had the restarts that just kind of turned into mayhem there at the end, and you found your way through them, and all of a sudden you found yourself up front. And talk about just holding off. You had Mac, you had Braxton, you had a bunch of good cars there around you, and just being able to survive the restarts there. And I know you got a little loose even there on that final one, and I was like, oh no. But just being able to survive and get there.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank NC811 for the title sponsor, and then my teammates with LaRue Esports. Unfortunately, we guys, a couple of the guys had some incidents with a couple of other guys, and it's unfortunate. I want to thank the guys that I raced around tonight, like Tyler Dalton and Mike Kelly, Tommy Ryan. We had some really intense battles during the different runs that it was so aggressive, but it was so respectful. Like there was a little bit of nudging that was happening, but nobody got out of shape and everybody kept it moving forward. And I wish we could do this more often, week in and week out, because it was really a good show, at least from my seat. The way it worked out for me was I was probably, depending on the run, 5th, 6th, 7th quickest car on the track. I think Fuller was the class of the field. I decided when it was like 19 to go and that caution came out, I knew that we weren't wearing much on the left side tires, so I decided to do right sides only. And it put me out in front, and track position was key, so being able to be out front kind of control the race. And then the cautions kept happening, which was actually helping me. But there was a point there where I think 2 or 3 cautions come out, and it felt like I got a really good restart on both of those, and I felt like I had won the race already like 2 or 3 times based on how I had gotten out in front and got into turn 1 and stuff, and then a caution would happen, and we have to stack them up and do it again. And I'm just glad it worked out. It's like the monkey's off the back, and just very thankful. I love the competition here. The guys, there's some guys here that are just really, really good, and it just keeps you wanting to compete against them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've been through your battles. We've seen, obviously being involved in wrecks or just having rough races or whatnot, and you've had your good runs. Is this more of a relief situation for you, or just more happy to be up front in this race? What's the feelings right now?
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly. I just, yeah, I mean, I want to be raced with respect. I try to race everybody else with respect. I understand it's competitive. It is what it is, It's also at the end of the night, it's a video game, and for the most part, it does go off pretty well. Tonight was a good example, except for towards the end when the caution started flying. That's really unfortunate, but there was a section there in the middle of this thing where it was really hardcore, and it was just like I was just a sweaty mess, just trying to hold on. It was so fun.
Well, great job tonight, man. Well earned, and it's kind of ironic you got the old MGD paint scheme in a town that's, well, obviously infamous for beer, in Victory Lane here tonight. So obviously send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Well, again, I'd like to thank my teammates and just everybody that just raced around me and raced clean and aggressive, and just thanks for putting on a good show until unfortunately the caution started happening.
Well said. Great job tonight, and go celebrate this win and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thanks, Chris, for all you do with broadcasting as well.
Appreciate it, Robert. Enjoy your win there. Well earned on this 77's part. It's always good to see a winner that comes out there every week and races hard and does his best to, as he said, keep everything respectful amongst the group, and gets the win tonight here in Milwaukee. And oh, by the way, is the only winner in the Xfinity Series at Milwaukee in the history. So there you go. Put that one on the list for him. So congratulations to Robert on the win. Obviously a wild race at the end there as mayhem kind of broke out there, but that also means mayhem broke out a little bit in the point standings as we pull up the standings right now going into next week's race, which, by the way, is, I believe, Nashville Super Speedway from what I remember looking at there, as Braxton has a 28-point lead over Miles. So those two pretty much hold tight with each other. Mike Kelly there in third, 58 points back. Mac moves up to fourth. Chad Coleman up to fifth. Simley sixth. Of course, Wesley Donaldson not here tonight. Falls to seventh. Tyler Dalton moves up to eighth. Rivera ninth, and then Fuller stays there in the 10th position. But you see where the movement happens, and it's down here near 12th, 13th, 14th. A whole lot of movement going on there, as now Bob Gillenwater becomes the bubble guy, as he sits right there. Kevin Stone 1 point back. Van Schaik 4 back after missing tonight. Gerald Livingston's right there. J.P. Phillips is right there. Josh Parker's right there. There's a lot to race for, as we now have 5 races to go before the playoffs kick off in just a few weeks. So it is getting down to go time, as they say, for Sim500. And as I look over here again, it is Nashville next week before we take Mother's Day weekend off. Then we go to Michigan. Then we take Memorial Day weekend off. And then Chicagoland, Watkins Glen, and Talladega. The 5 races left before we get into the playoffs in the middle of June. So a lot of great racing to go here in Sim500. Again, tomorrow night, Dover Motor Speedway. We'll be back for more racing, Sim500 and the NC811.org Cup Series. We hope to see you then. Otherwise, we're going to take off and go get ready for Monday as we sign off. And always remember, this isn't just a game. It's iRacing. See ya!
This copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, reused, or retransmitted in any form without the authorized written consent of Captain Esports Network. Captain would like to thank all of his loyal fans for your continued support, and he hopes you enjoyed today's broadcast.
The following is a special presentation. From the Captain Esports Network.